What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and Hollywood studios are so focused on getting that Chinese box office money. They literally go out and create movies and pick and choose scenes that they think they should cut or think they should put in, all because they inevitably want to release it in China. And for some reason, the ones that push the hardest to pander to China do everything they can, throw all the original fans under the bus, say, you folks in America, fuck you, we're doing this for China. It never seems to work out for them, and it's definitely not working out for LeBron James. Now, I talk a lot about LeBron James over on Sports Wars, the Geeks and Gamers channel Sports Wars, which I run over there. I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comment below for you guys to go check that out, because we talk about all sports over there. But LeBron James, I've been talking about this dude for a very long time because he has nearly single-handedly destroyed the NBA with his woke SJW virtue signaling identity politics garbage. Literally taken the NBA to its worst ratings of all time. He's almost the singular focus of this entire scenario. But what is happening with his movie Space Jam: A New Legacy, as it's referred to here, Space Jam 2, is laughable. Because this dude has cucked so hard for China. He has simped for China for the last several years because he knew this movie was coming. Because he works with Nike, which also does business in China and cucks to China. All for nothing. Because Space Jam 2 isn't even going to be shown in Chinese theaters. This is absolutely hilarious, and I'm so happy that it's happening to the bitch LeBron James. LeBron James pandering to China fails to win him Chinese release date for Space Jam 2. Critics savage it as garish and nauseating, and people are absolutely tearing this movie apart. Now, there was a lot of news when Space Jam became the #1 movie in America, beating out Black Widow, but that number was not impressive. Just over $30 million. If you compare that to the first Space Jam, which came out in '96, factor in inflation, that movie made nearly $48 million its opening weekend. And this movie opened in 1,000 more theaters. Talk about the pandemic, talk about all these things. But it's embarrassingly bad numbers for a movie that cost $150 million just to make, plus whatever marketing costs. So this movie needs to make a shit ton of money, probably around $400 million worldwide before it starts sniffing a profit. Don't think it's going to do that without China. So I wanted to take a look at this article here. LeBron James bent the knee to director Xi, but China still isn't releasing Space Jam 2. The film is carefully neutered to appeal to an apolitical global cinematic marketplace dominated by China, Politico wrote last week. Oddly, the Space Jam sequel is not currently scheduled for a release in China. James stirred up controversy in 2019. This is where so much of this blew up, because LeBron James is someone who is always making his political views known. Even if no one was interested in what he had to say, he would put his 2 cents in. And he said, you have to stand up for inequality anywhere and everywhere you see it. I'll never just shut up and dribble. Well, it's interesting because when he went to China, he did exactly that. He shut up and dribbled when the people of Hong Kong were protesting for their livelihood, for their freedom, for their lives. What did LeBron James do? He rebuked Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey for supporting Hong Kong protests for freedom, saying, we talk about this freedom of speech, but sometimes there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. Lakers forward has consistently kowtowed to the genocidal regime to line his pockets. James has a $1 billion lifetime deal with Nike, whose CEO said this: Nike is a brand that is of China and for China. Of course, that's where they get their cotton and gather more than 80% of it from where Uyghur Muslims are held in slave camps. These are the types of people we're dealing with. People that will do anything for that Chinese dollar, regardless of how disgusting it may be. And LeBron James has been out there defending them every step of the way while throwing Americans under the bus, while trying to make essentially racial divisions happen in this country. Putting a target on the back of a police officer, saying that black people are being hunted in the streets. That's what LeBron James says day in and day out, while being completely silent about China so that he can get Space Jam 2 released in China. And it's not working out very well for him. Clay Travis says this: despite LeBron James shutting up and dribbling for Chairman Xi, China still won't allow Space Jam 2 to air, meaning this movie is likely to lose several $100 million. I would say over 100 million. I don't know about several at this point. Should be a massive story. LeBron bent the knee and China still spurned him, yet the media isn't covering it. Space Jam 2 cost 200 million to make and market and will likely only make 60 to 70 million without China. Meaning LeBron's movie will lose over 100 million dollars. China's blocking the movie's a huge story, but no one's discussing it in the mainstream media. Strange. LeBron ripped the First Amendment in the US, declined to speak up for basic human rights, and shut up and dribbled for Chairman Z, all to get Space Jam 2 on in China. And now LeBron won't even talk about his movie being banned because he's still afraid of upsetting China, because he knows that so much of his future income with Nike is still tied to that. These people will never ever learn, and LeBron James is lumped in just with everybody else in Hollywood. They are all trying to do whatever they can. They want to say, we love gay people, we care about gay people, Pride Month, woohoo, LGBTQ plus characters. But then what do? They censor things so that they can get them by in certain countries, specifically in China a lot of the time. What did Lucasfilm do? We love black people. We love representation and diversity. But when we release this movie in China, we're going to shrink Finn so you can't see him because we don't think that the Chinese people like black people. Maybe that's why Space Jam 2 isn't being very well received in China, or why they don't want to even air it, I should say. Maybe it all didn't matter, LeBron James. Maybe you did all of this for absolutely nothing. But you are a bitch. You are a coward. You are a piece of garbage. LeBron James, we have detailed his exploits, how he has destroyed the NBA with his pandering, with his social justice, disgusting, divisive racial politics. We've talked about it extensively. Again, I will leave that link in the pinned comment below. And it's all for nothing. He is an embarrassment. When you look at this movie's not going to have any legs. This movie is getting absolutely destroyed by so many people that have watched it. That's the reason why it was able to be the #1 movie with only $30 million. That is pathetic. Really goes to speak of what a bad drop-off Black Widow had. But LeBron James pandered as much as he could. LeBron James betrayed his country, betrayed everyone, all to bend the knee for China, just for them to say no to him and to Space Jam 2. Pathetic. But I expect nothing else from LeBron James. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.